Hey guys, this is Ghost57 coming at you from the power of YouTube through the internet itself. Okay guys, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to install Plex on your TrueNAS SCALE server. Stay tuned guys and I'll show you how to do that. And here's the server we're using today. Like in all our other server videos, we're still on the Dell PowerEdge R720XD with a whopping 23 bays of storage. This thing is going to be a beast for Plex because we can add a lot of additional storage to this server here. And this server is actually using 125 gigabytes of ECC DDR3 memory. So not the fastest memory, but it does have a whopping 126 gigabytes of RAM, which is way more than enough for a Plex server. And we're running a dual CPU setup. We're using a Xeon CPU, and the number is E5-2670 at a whopping 2.6 gigahertz speed. Not very fast, but we do get a lot of cores and threads. And again, this server right here, you can find it off of eBay easily for about 300 bucks. Probably not this setup, but at least bare bones stock. Like I said guys, we are going to be giving away the server right down here, which is a PowerEdge R30XD, and you can see it does have the 3.5 inch drives, and this one does come with two 4 terabyte drives. We'll be giving it away in a live stream coming up in the next couple of months. I'll go ahead and post some stuff about that on Instagram and on Twitter, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, so we're going to jump over here and jump right into our server now. Okay guys, so we already jumped right into TrueNAS SCALE. As you can see right here, my whopping 125 gigs of ECC DDR3 memory, which is a lot of memory. Again, this came with the unit off of eBay, so it was a pretty good deal. And we are running the Intel Xeon's CPU E5-2670 at a whopping 2.6 gigahertz. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Again, you don't need a system this crazy to do Plex. Some people will use like an old Dell Plex to get started with, and that's pretty much good. As long as you can put a pretty substantial large hard drive in there, you're pretty much set to go. So first thing we're going to do is look at the app itself. So we're going to jump right over here to apps. This is something I like to do before I get started with everything. We're going to go to Discover. And there's Plex right away. It is one of the most awesome things to have, especially if you're trying to get off of paid subscriptions. This will definitely help you get there. You can go buy your Blu-rays or DVDs, and you can rip them and upload them to your Plex so you can watch them anywhere in the world, which is very, very cool. So we're going to go ahead and click right over here on Plex. We're going to go to install. We're not going to install it just yet, but we're going to look at what type of storage we're going to be using here. So I always like to scroll down here, and right over here where it says storage configuration, this is what we're going to set up in our datasets. So it's always a good time if you want to take a picture so we can set this up together. So now that we got that set up, we're going to go over here to dataset, and this is where I have all my apps going. Right over here it says apps data goes here, and we're going to go ahead and make a subfolder from here. So we have the main one highlighted. We're going to go to add dataset, and this one is just going to be called Plex server, like that. And one main thing you always want to change it to right here where it says database preset, always make sure it says app. It actually helps you out down the road. It's going to preset everything you need for an application so they have the right permissions. And you can go return to pool. And if you notice now, this is still highlighted, so we're going to go ahead and from that other page we got all the different directories we're going to need. So with this highlighted, we're going to go right back over here and hit add dataset. And now we're going to go and put Plex data with no space, storage, and again you're going to go down here and put apps and hit save, return to pool. And now we're going to go and highlight the main data set right here again and go add another data set. The next one that we just got off of storage configuration from the install file, this one's going to be called Plex configuration files. I'm just going to have it labeled a little shorter. Again, this is just to keep everything nice and neat. And we're also going to make this into an app. Save that. And return to pool. And last one, again, highlight Plex server that you just made, add dataset. And this one is going to be called, the last one is called Plex logs. And app again. Actually, I have one more, which is Plex transcode storage. So go ahead and highlight our server again, add dataset. This one is Plex transcode storage. And we're going to set this to apps and save that as well. And go back to pool. So this is the way yours should look. Again, this is under my app data goes here. If you don't know how to set that up, I do have previous videos. I'll go ahead and put a card right here on how to set up your Plex server. Again, one of the issues a lot of people have when getting into Plex is actually permissions for apps to actually be granted. So you always want to set up like a main father data here that is for apps only. So you give them pretty much all exclusive permissions so your apps can not have issues with permissions down the road. But now that we have that going here, we have Plex server set to app, Plex config folder, Plex data storage, Plex log, and Plex transcode storage. So now we have that all nice and pretty. We're going to go ahead and go back to apps. Okay, so now we're going to go to discover apps again, and there is Plex, and right there it says stable, which is excellent. We're going to go to an install now that we have our data all configured. And right here where it says Plex configuration, we don't have to worry about claim token. This is more for Plex Pass, so we don't have to worry about that. Image, Plex official image is great. All this is fine right here. Everything can stay default. We're going to go down, down, down. Everything looks good. So all this stays default. You don't have to change anything. If you have other apps on your server, just make sure the port number is unique to this, which this one is. And most important part right here, guys, is right here where it says host network. And this is actually the most important thing you have to do is click this right over here. That's going to keep you actually making this. If you don't do that, it's just going to download the app and not actually do the server aspect of it. So we definitely need that here. And we're going to scroll down right here where it says Plex data storage. So this is actually where your movies are going to be located. So I know I made that other data set underneath there, but I don't have any movie saved to there. I did actually already rip some to get it ready. It does take some time to rip those movies, especially Blu-rays. So we're just going to go and attach our data where our media is present. We're going to go right here, host path. You don't have to click on this. So actually mine is going to be, should be, let's see, where are you? There you go. So again, this is something I made where my movies are coming off my desktop. So it is SMB storage. But again, if you don't have any movies ripped to it just yet, you don't have to worry about that. But that's where mine are saved to. So wherever you save your movies to, just go ahead and attach that. I'll show you how that looks on my desktop real fast. So here's my NAS. This is just like my map network drive, and there's my Plex with my movies I already ripped and put on here. So those are there. Easier for me to put them onto my server without having to like make a VM or anything like that. It comes directly off my RIP drive to that folder, which is nice. So that's my storage for there. Plex configuration, this is all the stuff we just set up. So we can go over here where we just made that. Our apps go here. This is our Plex server. And this one is called Plex configuration. And look how nice and neat that is since I took that picture. And Plex log storage, same idea. Already have a path set up. I know it kind of looks complicated, but I mean, I have a couple different things on here, so a little bit more trees on the data set there. And last one is the transcode storage. Again, it's just to make everything nice and neat, so if you need to go recover stuff, or edit stuff in shell. It has a nice little folder directory for it. So again, apps go here, Plex server, and then a transcoding storage. So this is what we're going to talk about right here. So depending on how many CPU cores you have and threads, you can go ahead and put those here. So the CPU that we're running actually has 8 cores and 16 threads. And keep in mind we have 2 of those, so we have a lot of CPU cores to actually give away or to spare. So I'm going to go ahead and put a nice 4 cores right here. And then when we're looking at memory, this is going to be your RAM. So we're going to go ahead and put it at 16 gigabytes of RAM because we have a lot of RAM to spare. We do have 126 gigabytes of RAM, so 16 gigabytes won't hurt. And we actually do have a GPU that we installed, so we'll go ahead and hit GPU configuration. Keep in mind to actually use GPU transcoding, you do need the Plex membership, which we'll get into in a little bit. So we'll go ahead and hit install. Everything looks good now. So we'll hit install, and it should start creating it with no issues. And one of the cool things about TrueNAS Scale is everything's pretty easy to get into. It does give you a nice app directory with a GUI or a web interface that you click on once the app is installed. So you can see right there it's deploying. I have a lot of these off. We're not really using the Minecraft server. If you want to know how to make a Minecraft server, I'll leave the little card on top as well, so you can take a look at that. So now that our Plex is running, we're going to go to get into the web UI, and we'll do that now. Okay guys, so there was a couple issues I ran into. One issue was really just trying to find the directory of my movies. So I'm going to just go ahead and run through it real fast again. So we're going to go to edit right here. There was a couple things I did change. So if you already have an account set up, the best thing to do is just make sure you're logged on to the computer first with your Plex, and then you're going to go ahead and click right here with claim token, and just copy this right here, and then paste it up here, and it's going to give you a token that actually helps you out down the road in the future. So you can do that. The only things I did actually go into changing after my first little walkthrough was right down over here is going to be everything right here. It's everything we set up at first. This is not where your movies are saved to actually. So this was the directory we made, our config files for Plex data storage. So that's everything we made in the beginning of the video. Again, just follow the directory path. All those, I'll show you right here, is where the data app goes, like I said, and then down here, data app storage. So everything we created at first, that's where that goes. So all this is good. Everything's good here. One thing you do have to add to actually find the movies when you first get started is actually right over here. So it's going to say additional storage, and I actually made myself a home NAS/media storage directory, and this is actually set to SMB. One thing to remember when you're doing something like this is set access to everybody. I'll make a video down the road if you do have issues doing that. That did take me a little bit of time, but what I did was right down over here, I made another little file to drop my movies into, so you can see it right over there. So these are the ones I just ripped off of my Blu-rays, and that's where the files are going to be saved to. So it's easy to drag and drop them from your desktop after you rip them right to your TrueNAS Scale server. Okay, so everything's set up there. We're good to go. And like I said, I have 4 CPU cores since I do have a lot to give. And then I put it on 16 gigabytes of RAM. And I do have a NVIDIA graphics card, so I'll go ahead and update that. And then we'll go ahead and get onto the web IU now. So I did get a message like we saw a little while ago that said something's not working in the server. And for some reason it said that, but I was still able to access my movies. So it might be a glitch within the Plex system itself. But we're going to go ahead and hit web IU. Just like that. And if you notice, this will take you through the same sign-in features I'm going through. So there is my email address associated to my account, And here is this. This application is set at 192.168.160, and we're going to go ahead and yes, sign in. That is me. And it's going to say how Plex works. Plex Media runs on the computer where you keep your media at. So this is going to be pretty much talking about our server. Plex scans your media automatically and organizes it and makes it beautiful. So you can see right here you have your movies, pictures, and music videos are music. And the cool thing about a for-profit is it actually is very easy to use. There's apps for Android, iOS, and PC and TV, so it's very easy to get on any type of streaming device without any hiccups. So we already got that. And keep in mind, the only way you can use GPU transcoding is if you have a Plex pass. So if you don't have that, you actually won't be able to enable GPU transcoding. I do have that pass, and it's actually pretty affordable if you think about it. It's only $6.99 a month, but again, this goes through people that actually work to keep all the database and everything up and running. You do get a lot from Plex, and you do get their free movies that they have on there. So it's a little cheaper than Netflix and all those other streaming services, and it helps out the community in the long run for them to develop more applications and whatnot down the road. So I'm going to hit I got it. And this is what we ran into a little while ago. It says a problem has been detected with a core component of Plex Media Server, and that's okay. We're just going to change the name over here. I have it set to Ghost Plex Server, and you can already see I have my movies set. Already set that there. But if you wanted to go add it, it's very easy to add. You can add TV shows, music, and all that. You just click here. Next, it's going to browse, and like I said, I already made one. Right over here, my media folder, so you just click on that and you're good to go. But I already did this a little while ago, that's why that's there. Hit next and hit done. So this was my test run over here. I'm gonna go ahead and just unpin that, but right here you can see all the movies already pretty much ripped from my Blu-ray collection, and they're all here up and running. So this is so nice because it does all this for you. You don't have to drag and drop anything to it. Everything is here, which is really, really nice. And I'm going to show you, just to make sure that our GPU is transcoded, I'm going to show you where you can locate that now. And where you find that is right over here. So you can see along with your Plex Pass, you do get quite a bit of movies and shows. So it's just like Netflix, just a little bit cheaper. So we're going to go right over here to more, and you can see Ghost Plex Server right here. This is the one I was actually testing out. This one is turned off. We're going to go to movies. Actually, these little three dots right here, you can click on that, manage server and settings, and this is only if you have a GPU. And we're going to go right down here. You can see all these different settings. There's a red flag right here because I don't have this set up just yet. We'll come back to this in a later video, but we're looking at right over here is transcoder. And you can already see it says use hardware accelerator when available, and we have that set. And I'm gonna go ahead and put we'll keep that as automatic, and maximums videos that can be transcoded, we have it on unlimited, and then maximum background videos transcoders. We can go ahead and increase this. I'm using a NVIDIA Tesla P4, 8 gigabytes of RAM. They said you can do up to 10, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that at the 10. Again, I'm not going to have a lot of people actually on this, but down the road I might invite some more friends on this as well. But you can see all these different things since we are using a transcoder, hardware transcoder. All this stuff is actually here, and most of this can stay on primarily pretty much auto. This is fine just like that. Okay, so primarily we have our, you can see right here, we have our Plex up and running. Again, the only issue you ran into really was actually finding a way to map out a directory from our computer desktop to the Plex directory to make it easy down the road. Again, it's just making up another SMB folder, share folder, and then mapping it out on your directory. If you do need help with that, go ahead and look at my little card right here. It's going to show you how to set that up. Again, it's pretty basic, but if you do need a little walkthrough, there's a video on how to do that. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video, because I definitely enjoyed making this for y'all. And if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and please subscribe. That does help my channel out. And if you haven't hit that bell notification icon, go ahead and hit that now. I do come up with weekly videos, and next month we're going to start a 1 week of streaming on Fridays, so you can check that out as well with that bell notification icon. So guys, as always, I had a great time working on this with y'all, and I'll be seeing y'all in the next video. Ghost57 out. Bye bye for now, friends. See you next time.